It's Proud and Six LA's #1 for hip hop. I am Bryhana, and y'all already know. Okay, I don't even need to give like a crazy intro because this is the icy queen herself, Saweetie. I am so excited to have you.
Hey, Bryhana, girl.
Hey. Okay, so of course I had to bring you your flowers over there.
Thank you. They're pretty
and your
pink.
wine. Yes,
Thank
girl.
you.
I got you. So is pink your favorite color? Pink and
It's one of mine. Mm-hmm.
Perfect, girl. So I want to know about this single life because you and I kind of had a situation where we both broke up with our significant other around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you learned about the single life?
I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
I learned that, oh, girl. I've been in relationships for a long time. So it's the first time I just been by myself. Mm-hmm. So I honestly just learned a lot about Diamante and Saweetie.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So what have you been doing? Like, what does a single life look like you versus like when you're in a relationship? I'm sure you have more time.
Girl, I just be at the studio now. Mm-hmm. Now I'm not trying to run home. I'm not trying to go on no date. I'm not trying to do no extra shit. I just be at the studio. Yeah. Uh-huh.
What would you say is like the difference with this project? Because I got to hear a few songs and you are really talking that shit and I appreciate that. So what would you say is different about this project?
I think my vulnerability. Mm-hmm. I think that when I was rapping in my previous songs, I love those. I feel like all of my songs are my babies, but I feel like this is the first time where I had no filter. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you could really hear it too, like within every single lyric. What would you say like was nerve-wracking about this project versus your other ones?
Nerve-wracking because, sometimes I do see the comments online, and when people think that I'm gearing a certain lyric or song towards someone and it's not even about them, it's just this whole project is like a collective of my experiences as a single woman in totality. It gets frustrating, but I'm not finna argue with nobody online. So I mean, the art is the art, and when people like misinterpret that for something that's that's negative, I don't like that because I do art to inspire and to motivate.
Yeah. So how do you block when the haters be hating?
Girl, I just can't read it. I just can't read it. That's all that come down to.
But I'm sure like your friends or even like the people that you work with, I'm sure they show you these comments.
They don't.
They don't.
That's my rule. That's my rule. Do not show me no negativity.
Yeah. But when you do hear it, because I'm sure a part of this was kind of like, I'm a speak the truth within my music. Do you feel like it's important to just like not read it at all, even though people try to like push it towards you, would you say?
I think that sometimes I see it only because I do try to respond to the love. So I gotta just take it as it comes with the territory. But right now I see a lot of love online. Yeah. And I'm appreciative of that, because this is the first time where I feel like I'm really just being me in my music.
So what would you say is different now then versus like, the other music that you dropped? You don't feel like you were being like truly you?
I feel like there's a growth. And when I mean growth, it's just like the time I spent. Before this year, I would always like spot record, like 3 days, maximum 7 days, 1 day, 2 days. I spent a year straight in the studio. Yeah. So I feel like I got to know myself as an artist in a studio setting more than before.
And what does that like setting look like for you?
Clean. Some candles and some sushi. But when I mean like getting to know myself, like every artist has a relationship with the mic, and I feel like as the new artist, we're just thrown into the game. No artist development, no time to prep. It's just kind of like, oh, you got a hot song, get on the stage next week. I never had the time to really just sit down, and I know that I've spoken about this before, but artist development was just really important to me. Like, I'm not just born with it where I just go spit on the mic. I had to work for it. And I feel like, there's a difference with this project.
I heard you're like singing a little bit.
It's a little something.
Yeah. When did we start singing? Was that always a thing that you wanted to do?
Go back to the streets.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That was a little something.
Yeah. But I feel like now, are you really going to go crazy with the vocals? Like, who helped you on that?
Well, I did record with my girl Joelle James a lot. That's dope. She be blowing. But I've always wanted to be a singer since I
Oh.
was like a little girl. I wanted to be like a Disney princess.
Really? Well, I mean, Icy. It makes sense. She's an Icy princess, so.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So are you going to be nervous, like singing in front of people? Like, is this something that, you've been working towards and you're like, okay, now I'm ready? Like, how do you feel about that?
The only time I've ever been nervous is when I don't prep. But I feel like with my new team, they really care about my artistry. So I think that when it's time for me to go out there, I'm going to be over prepared.
That's good. What would you say is your favorite song on the project?
Ooh. So I can talk about all of them. So
Okay.
like, Don't Say Nothing, like I don't perform no song like that. Like
Yeah.
it just brings a different type of spirit out of me. Because I'm really like, I don't feel like I'm just repping for me. I feel like I'm repping for women across the globe. Like if I give you some of my time, nigga, keep that on the low.
Okay. Why do people feel like they need to talk? I don't understand.
They just get excited, but I understand.
Okay.
Boss Chick, I feel like it's just Saweetie from the Bay. I love that cadence. Pussy, like I want women to like know the power within themselves. And like in the title, there's like an acronym. It means power, it means utopia, supreme, sacred, and yummy. Like women, we got a lot of power and they try to take it away from us. So Pussy is just like that reminder song.
We need that.
You know? And then after that, Handle My Truth. I feel like it reminds me of my car rap days when I was just, telling my story. Memorable. They just gonna have to listen to that. And then No Reception. Like I love me a freestyle and update, you know? So that's all that is.
Yeah. So what artists have you been working with? Because I heard you're working on like kind of like a Latin song.
Ooh,
So
girl,
she
who told
she
you?
going global. I do my research,
I
girl.
know that's right.
Okay.
I haven't, been able to get into the studio with the Latin artists I do want to work with, but I have a couple on my wish list.
I could really see that for you, just going global. Like you have really been doing a lot this past year. That's why not only did I physically give you flowers, but like I have
Thank
to
you.
tell you, and every single time I see you, because
You do.
every single time I'm like, dang, she did McDonald's, she did Champion, she did Mac. I'm like, nobody is doing what Saweetie does, and I
Oh,
think that
thank
that's
you.
phenomenal. And the fact that you keep it now, I think so more so private than you used to too. So how do you balance it all?
Honestly, me going private was just me focusing on myself. Like I didn't want no distractions.
Yeah.
So me going offline was intentional, and it was just me being in the studio. Like I was literally living in the studio, falling asleep, waking up, recording, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like I was at the studio 24/7.
Yeah. What do you feel your fans think about Saweetie when they hear the name? Because I see you as just, such an inspiration to so many men and women.
Thank you.
So, and I know you get a lot of hate and slack online. So when people hear the name Saweetie, what do you think that they think of?
So when they hear it, being that you said and you recognize that, sometimes the hate does come with greatness. So when people see me, I hope that they're inspired to do whatever they want to do despite the negative criticism. Because like I don't really talk about it that much, but I do see everything, and sometimes it does get me low. I be like, y'all don't even know me, y'all don't even know what really happened in this situation, and I'm not the type to like share something that's intimate with me. Like I don't feel like I gotta explain myself. Like my daddy ain't raised me that way. I'm not gonna post no screenshots to defend my side of the story because I just think that's lame. But when people are running with a perception that's not true, that does bother me. But the fact that I continue to persevere no matter what's said about my name, I hope my fans just learn that as long as you believe in yourself, you can keep going. Like consistency and the effort you put into you is all that matters.
And do you feel like as Black women, they really try to tarnish us and bring us down? I mean, you saw what happened with Tiffany Haddish, and I just feel like they continuously try to tear us down. But I love the fact that you always stay afloat no matter what. I think that's really dope. Do you feel like that's something that we have to like pretty much just try to protect our energy from that?
I think we definitely have to protect our energy. And then, for those who do comment negativity online, I honestly think that it's just a reflection of themselves.
Yeah.
Because all the real bitches, like, if you got an idea or, like, if you got something negative to say, I think we just think it, but we don't say it. Because, like, pretty bitches is all about good energy and spreading love.
Yeah.
So, like, anytime I see, like, another woman tearing another woman down, I'd be like, oh, that ain't no pretty bitch.
Yeah, for real.
You know? It's like, oh, sis can keep that.
Yeah, I just feel like as women, I think it's so important to just empower each other. There's room for all of us, no matter what we look like, you know?
Absolutely.
So where did you come up with the name Pretty Bitch, like Pretty Bitch Music?
So Pretty Bitch was me just taking ownership of my confidence. Because I feel like since I've been a young girl, people have always misjudged me. I was always the new girl at school. I probably been to like 15 schools.
Oh, wow.
Always moving, always been relocated. You know, I had really young parents. So I was always just moving in between other types of houses and situations and guardians. So people would always judge me off my appearance. And it kind of made me not want to be the pretty girl anymore because there was such a negative energy towards a pretty woman. But I'm like, you know what? I'm a pretty bitch.
Yeah.
Because my aura is that. My confidence is that. My self-esteem is that. You know? And I don't think that, like, pretty is face value. I think it's what you bring to the table and your spirit and your mind and your mental and just everything that is an ingredient for you and your soul and your spirit.
Yeah.
And then with bitch, you know, I love me some Tupac.
Okay.
West Side. And he had the acronym for Thug Life. So I was like, I'm always saying bitch.
Yeah.
When I say bitch, I want the little girls to know that it means boss, independent, tough, CEO, and hyphy. So, you know, I'm from the Bay. That means having a good time. But it was me just reclaiming, like, things that were, you know, trying to be used against me growing up, you know? And I don't think that, I feel like as long as you're a good person and you treat other people right, you know, own your confidence, own your beauty. But don't use it as, you know, as a weapon, use it as a tool.
What I think is interesting because people say that there's a pretty girl privilege. So do you believe in that? Do you feel like girls get that?
What's hella crazy is I think that God put me on a journey to not be privileged because there'd be certain situations that I'd be in, and because I was pretty, they automatically wanted to treat me bad because they'd assume that I was coming from a pretty privileged perspective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like because I was quote unquote pretty, it's like, oh, this bitch thinks she's pretty. Let's treat her like shit so that she don't think that she got the upper hand.
Oof.
So like my whole life, it's felt like an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But that's why I try to pour into women because it's just like, yes, I was younger, and yes, it hurt me, but that wasn't them. That was their household, how they was raised, their environment. They were projecting only what they was taught. Oof. So it's like I went through those negative experiences only to be a martyr in certain situations. Wow. So it's like, yes, it put me in like dark places sometimes, but when I speak to God, it's all for purpose.
And what about, you know, growing up as a mixed girl, Filipino and Black? I'm raised as like a Puerto Rican mother and African American father. So it was difficult. Honestly, I really didn't know what I was. Like a lot of people were like, oh, you're Black and white or you're Mexican and Black. Like, did you realize like who you were, like as far as like being Filipino? Were you able to embrace both ethnicities growing up and understood that?
Honestly, being a mixed girl was just hella confusing for me. It was like the Filipino girls were like, you ain't Filipino, look at your hair, it's too curly.
Girl,
the Black girls was like, oh, you too light, you ain't Black. So it's like I was kind of like disowned from both sides.
Yeah.
So I never felt like I belonged anywhere except for like my family. So like when people talk about pretty privilege or mixed girl privilege or whatever you want to call it, like I didn't experience those things. I actually had like a negative connotation and experiences because I was what I am. Yeah. But it honestly made me a stronger person, and it also like made me see the other side, you know, of the perspective, because I'm like, why am I being treated this way?
I feel like not enough girls talk about that because even within our like our own community. Like I wasn't Puerto Rican enough because my hair texture didn't look like theirs, or I wasn't as light as them. Or, you know, with even the African American side, they're like, oh, you got good hair, or you talk white. I feel like that's a real conversation. Like just growing up, I was so confused. But now seeing girls with big curly hair, I'm just like, oh, okay, I wish I had that representation. So I love the fact that too, like with you and embracing your natural hair and like whatever hairstyle you do, like I know too, and jumping to this is like you decided to cut your hair and now you got the finger waves, which is so dope to me.
Thank you.
What made you decide to go with that look?
Honestly, I wanted to fresh start.
Yeah.
I felt like I was starting a fresh chapter in my life. I was recording pretty bitch music, and I wanted to start over. And I was meditating a lot. And the more research I did about spirituality, I learned that hair holds energy.
Right.
So I wanted to just start fresh.
Yeah.
It was nothing like too crazy. I'm just like, sometimes I just get hella impulsive.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to cut my hair. And it felt like, honestly, I felt really naked afterwards.
Yeah.
It felt like something was always like watching my back.
Really?
Yeah, like having no hair, girl. Like
Yeah.
I shaved everything off.
That's so wild. Did you like end up like doing it yourself, or you had somebody?
So I had
Do it
someone
for
start
you.
me off, like trim my hair. I actually got footage of it. And then after that, I just did it. And then after that, I jumped in the ocean.
What? That sounds so freeing.
It was freeing, and
Yeah.
I loved it.
Right.
But then when it actually sat in with myself, I felt so naked.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like your hair is really like, it feels like a shield. Because when it was gone, I was like, oh shit, where'd it go?
Yeah. What did your family say about that when they?
You know, my family's loving. They were just like, you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like they just supported it. It wasn't too much conversation because my family knows that I'm the type of person to make like a big decision without it like being, you know, without having too much like thought into it. I'm just gonna cut my hair.
Yeah.
That's
So
just what it was.
you filmed that experience. Are we gonna see that? Because I think somewhere too, I saw that you're working on like a documentary.
I'd like to share it.
Okay. I want to see that process. I feel like that will make girls just like really embrace just their natural hair. Because at first, like I would wear like extensions a lot too. But like you said, like I just started cutting it because I'm like, first of all, it's just hair. It's going to grow. It's okay. And then two, like you said, it is very freeing. I remember like when I first decided to cut my hair, my stylist was like, Bryhana, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm like, yeah. Like, so it's a very freeing experience and it makes people embrace it.
And then also just going off of that, I remember I told someone that I was cutting my hair, and they're like, damn, you might not be pretty no more. And I was like, oh, I'm for sure cutting my hair then. Because it's like, I wanted my energy, like, I'm not my hair.
Yeah.
So it made me, like, I'm a type of person where if you say I'm not going to be something, I'm going to just do it to prove that I am.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it felt like a challenge to me because I never felt like anything on my body made me beautiful or pretty or confident. I honestly feel like it's just the spirit that God gave me.
I feel like you're definitely a trendsetter for sure.
Oh, thank you.
And in regards to your nails, honestly, I feel like you started the whole long nail trend.
Oh, thank you,
I'm just
girl.
saying.
I just love me some nails.
How do you do everything? I can't even like type with like long nails.
Honestly, girl, like, I don't know either. It just be working with my body. It feels like an extension of my body.
Really? So what happens when one breaks off? Do you just hurry up and get it done?
I'm calling Tamika.
That's your nail?
Yes. I'm like, girl, can you please pull up? Because it'll drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw too that you were at Nipsey's Star. And I wanted to ask you, when I saw that, I was like, okay, I wonder if she knew him or if she ever got to work with him.
So I was actually a marathon girl.
Wow.
In college.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's a marathon girl?
So the marathon store.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I would
Yeah.
model for the marathon store.
Oh,
and I remember the girl who was doing my lashes also did makeup. And she was like, Nip is looking for some models. And I was hella broke. And I was like, okay, like, I'm pulling up. They paying cash. I'm going. So for me, it was like I was already a fan listening to his music. And I was like, okay, a little quick money, couple hours. But it actually turned out to be a really good experience. The camp was hella respectful, on time, gave good food. It was just like a good, like, you know, photo shoot.
Yeah.
Because, like, as a young girl in LA, when you run into rappers, sometimes it's just like, interesting experience.
Oh, period.
You know?
Yeah.
But his camp was like so down to earth, respectful, and was just hella cool.
That goes to say a lot about, Nip.
Absolutely. Sure. And the fact that I was able to have that moment in hindsight, it's just priceless. And I'll never forget how they treated me.
Were you able to meet him? Did he ever come to the camp?
He pulled up.
Oh, wow.
Hella cool.
Okay. So what did he tell, like, the other, was it girls and guys?
I think it was 2 other girls, but I think we were all like simultaneously shooting.
Oh, wow.
It was a nice crib.
Yeah.
Like, and we all like had our own little sets, and they was just shooting us.
Dang, that's really dope that you got to meet him. That's really a cool experience. And what about your IC Foundation? I want to know a little bit more about that as well.
So that's with my grandmother. She helps me run it, and our main priority is just teaching financial literacy, because I feel like they don't teach us how to accrue like interest and, double up on our money with investments. I feel like we're only taught savings. Yeah. So it's like there's a whole nother world to the financial part that I'm still learning about too, that we needed to teach to little kids. So it's like it's second nature to them instead of being a task or a burden when they get older. Like, you have to learn this. Like, it should be like second nature to them, and they should just know what to do when they get their money as an adult.
Yeah. How did you get into that, and how did you learn about your business? Really?
I mean, as far as like learning about financial literacy, my grandma, because she's always talked about it growing up.
And what are the people that are part of their foundation? I'm sure like the young boys and girls, like what do they say to you? Because I'm sure like this is the first time they're really like learning about this.
We actually have our first event. It is, I think, December 8th.
Wow.
So I just got approved, the 401c, something like that. Yeah. But I just got approved for that to actually run as a fully like functioning charity. So our first event is in December.
So you just do so much. How do you make time for Saweetie? Like, what do you do for fun?
I go to sleep.
Really? You just relax? I mean, I'm sure like you work out or like do you do yoga?
I definitely work out. But when it's like downtime, I love HBO and Netflix. And I love to paint.
Yeah. And speaking of HBO and Netflix, I know you were in Grownish. You did really good on that.
Thank you.
Are we going to see more acting from you?
Definitely. I've been taking acting classes this year.
Okay. Yes, period. What would be like your ideal role if you could make a role for yourself?
I want to be a superhero.
Oh. Okay, like you would do your own stunts.
Yeah, I want to be like a Harley Quinn or like a Poison Ivy.
Oh my gosh. Have you been like practicing with anybody, like as far as like learning stunts just to prep yourself?
No, just more so on the acting side.
Yeah. Because I feel like you're all about manifesting, so if you start learning now, then you can just get ready for your role.
You better give me some notes, girl.
Okay, I'm just saying, it is what it is. But no, I'm really excited. Honestly, this project sounds amazing.
Thank you.
And you really just put your all into it. I saw the little clip on Instagram how you said you put your blood, sweat, and tears, and you could hear it.
No, that's literally what it was.
Yeah. I'm sure it's emotional too now, like hearing this project. It's your baby. Like, what do you feel like when you listen to this?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I feel like a brand new artist.
Wow.
Like sometimes I feel like my past as an artist never existed. Only because like this music is just it touches a different part of my spirit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really emotional, sweetie. You are a Cancer.
Yes, girl. I am.
A Cancer to a T. I'm a Leo, so she the ice, I'm the fire.
Okay? Fire. I love me a Leo.
And I gotta ask you, Bay or LA? Because I've never been to the Bay yet, but which one?
Well, it's being hella gentrified. So if you would have asked me like 2000s, the Bay, but like now LA.
Okay. What is some like Bay slang you could teach me?
Of course, there's hella. Like, oh, you hella popping.
And you got it, I mean?
Yeah. And then, like,
I said that right?
If you excited to see someone, you be like, oh, you juiced.
Oh, you juiced. Okay. All right. And you know, I'm from Chicago. So we say, like, I don't know, girl. I don't want to give you too many hood lingos, but we say, like, bogus or, like.
So we say Boosie.
Boosie?
Yeah, so when I first heard about Boosie, the rapper, I was like, why he call himself Boosie?
Yeah.
No, because it means something else in the Bay.
Oh, what does it mean?
It means like...
you petty? Like...
No, Boosie means like, oh, that's hella Boosie. Yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
Boosie better than Bogus. Bogus just sounds ratchet.
Yeah.
And like when we say like you guys say cuffing, we're like, yeah, that's caking. We say caking.
We say caking, cupcake,
Okay.
no filling. I ain't got time 'cause I got a lot of women.
So who started it? Us or you?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, but for real though, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm excited
Thank
to
you.
listen to this. I know, like, I can't wait to see the visuals. And what do they look like? Do we have an idea?
Girl, I start shooting next week.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You excited for this?
No, I'm hella excited.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had 2 other projects come out.
Yeah.
I had multiple releases, but no release has felt like this day. It just feels good.
Yeah.
It feels just like, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels like magic's in the air.
Can I just say that you look very, even from the last time I've interviewed, I feel like I've interviewed like 5 times already, but you look so refreshed, so rejuvenated.
Thank you,
And
girl.
just beautiful, girl. I
You do
appreciate
too. You
Thank
glowing.
you.
What's that foundation?
And girl, I had a little makeup artist come for you. I had to
Oh,
look
it's
cute,
cute.
for the icy queen.
I'm about to say, you
okay?
beat that face.
Thank you, girl.
Yes, I love
Well, I
it.
appreciate you, girl, so much, and I'm so proud of you always.
Of course, I'm proud of you too.
Thanks, girl.